doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to an inspired and empowered life for your business, for a thriving business and life. So we are live Tuesday. That's old. We are live Thursdays at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. And today we are continuing with part 3, Empowered Manifesting. So if you want to learn how to manifest that thriving business and a thriving life, you've come to the right place. Are you ready to live an inspired and empowered life? And when you join us, we will help you to awaken to your fullest potential with strategies for success. And I'm your host, Nancy Deutsch, licensed clinical social worker, certified hypnotherapist, and intuitive business coach. And I combine my counseling, coaching, and intuitive abilities to transform women's lives and help them take their business to the next levels. And I see we have Allie in the house. Welcome, Allie. Always good to see you. And we will go deeper today, deeper dive into that empowered manifestation so that you're bringing forth the dreams, your destiny, that your soul, that your path, that you are meant to manifest this year and beyond. And this show is not a replacement for therapy or counseling. It is for educational purposes only. Now, last few weeks, we talked about the steps. So the first step, I'm going to go over the steps so that we are now current. So the first step is being able to tap into your heart's desires. And it's learning to tap into your heart, which is actually your soul speaking with you, to you. When you connect with those desires, you are connecting with your heart and your soul's light and love and your destiny. So remember, when you're connecting with your heart, you're connecting with your soul. So step 1 is making that connection and listening to what your soul is speaking to you or sharing with you. And then taking the actions. Now, the next step is about creating the intentions that you need to create to move towards empowered manifesting. And those steps, if you can imagine your intention of I am manifesting a thriving life and a thriving business, and your intention is the umbrella, and then the spokes of that umbrella are the goals. and the specific steps, goal by goal, that you need to take to bring that intention into form. And when you have that intention, you want to use I am statements, and you want to be able to really be positive. You want to remember not to use negative words, but I am manifesting the life and the business I've always dreamed of. I am manifesting freedom in my life. I am manifesting radiant health or financial freedom, financial success. I am manifesting that divine relationship. So, all of those are your intentions. And then the specific goal is really getting down to the very specific. The first step I can take towards that intention is reaching out and starting to make connections with other people who will support me in moving forward in my life and my business. And then the next step after you have is you want to make sure that you are clearing your energy. So, clearing your energy is so crucial. Now, we talked about, okay, I see your question, Misty. I will get to it in a sec. So, we talked about clearing and doing clearing work so that you are in a clear space aligned with your intention and your goal so that you are moving towards it. And remember, we talked about baby steps. Baby steps will still get you towards that goal, and it's okay to have those baby steps. So be able to move towards that. Okay. Now, so clearing your energy is clearing and being able to focus. You want to meditate, you want to pray, you want to journal, whatever you need to do to clear your energy so that you're in alignment. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into clearing today very shortly. And first, I want to get to Misty's question. You define the difference between thriving and settling for stagnant. Okay, thank you. So when you're settling for stagnant, and stagnant may be the status quo, this is where you're at, and you're just kind of doing the same things, and you're doing it, and you're doing it, and you're not feeling you're doing it maybe out of habit, you're doing it out of obligation, you're doing it from a place where there may be no joy, but you just feel like you have to. It could be the have tos. Now, when you're in have tos, you may be in settling. You're in obligation. And you can feel the energy of settling and obligation can feel heavy. And if you go into feelings, you're feeling like maybe you're feeling blah, or you're feeling bored, or you're feeling frustrated, or you're feeling irritable. And you're just in this day to day humdrum of, all right, this is life. That would be settling. Now, when you move into thriving, thriving is about feeling the energy of what your dreams are, what your destiny is, and you start feeling more alive, and you start feeling joy, and you start feeling excitement. Yes, this is what I want in my life. So, thriving is when you're feeling the passion or the excitement, or you just feel you're in this place of alignment. You're connected with your soul, with your destiny, and you know you're moving towards where you're meant to be. And I'm going to give you an example from my own life of where I used to be when I was settling and I was doing the day to day. And here's the thing, and I also want you to know, when you're doing the making money, and all of us have gotten to either places where where we had to make money, and you may be there, and it may not be like poof, you're already in that place where you can start having that thriving life. Remember, I talked about the baby steps, and the baby steps are going from where you're feeling stagnant to where you're starting to feel more alive, more passion towards the thriving life that you dream of. Or maybe you're not even clear what that looks like. You only know what it feels like. Or maybe you don't even know what it feels like. So, what I am saying, it's that passion, that aliveness, the joy. All of that is part of thriving. So, when I was doing jobs as a social worker, I was glad I was getting paid, but I was doing the day to day, and it was okay, but I wasn't feeling joy. I was feeling like, okay, this is what I need to do right now. I was in the have tos. I have to get a paycheck. I have to do it. So I was doing it. And then situations happened where I ended up getting let go. Now, what I want to say to you is this: you may think that you're being let go of a job or a situation may be the worst thing that ever happened to you, but perhaps it's actually the universe stepping in and giving you a nudge to move you towards where you're meant to be. And that's what happened for me. What happened was was I was doing my thing. I was on, and then I got let go because of budget cuts. And I started getting referrals. And what started happening is I started building my own business, step by step, piece by piece. And I had two things going on at the same time. So I was working on building my business, and I also had a part-time job doing marketing for an architect, which is totally different than what I was doing, but it was still what I needed to do. And then I was able to start building and building and building my business. And finally, I was able to let go of the part-time job with the architect. And and so what I really want you to know is that thriving is a journey. And it's a journey. To me, I believe thriving is a journey towards your destiny. And it's when you're connected with your soul and your soul's inspiration that you start taking those steps. So hopefully, Misty, that helped describe the difference between settling and thriving. And Anastasia asked, what if you stumble on baby steps? Should you readjust your goals? So, Anastasia, I want you to, can you tell me, when you say stumble on the baby steps, What do you mean by stumble? Is it that you're not sure you're doing the right steps and you're kind of muddling through? Or are you taking clear action? So, can you describe to me a little bit about what you mean by stumbling about the baby steps? Because I want to understand it to give you a better answer. And Misty asks, when 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 do people realize the have tos are not the only thing to fuel a being? So I think that part of learning to understand and become aware of the have tos has to do with becoming aware of where you're at in your life. So it's becoming in touch with your feelings. Now, a lot of us are, um, you may be in a place where you're not even realizing, but the fact that you're watching this show and you're tuning in, so whether you're tuning in live so that you can ask the questions, or you're tuning into the podcast, you're wanting more from your life and you're becoming consciously aware, and that maybe the have tos are not the only thing in life. I really believe that most of us have learned the have tos. I mean, think about it. When you were growing up, your parents or your caretakers said, you have to do this, you have to do that. We learned have tos. And most of us live by the have tos. And so so it's learning to become consciously aware that you're in have to zone so that you can then start taking the actions and becoming aware. And this is where the clearing comes in, becoming aware of the limiting beliefs that keep you in the have to zone so that you can then move towards what brings you joy or what brings you passion, what feels alive. And even though you may not realize or think, how am I going to move from A to Z? You don't need to figure A to Z out. You can't. You just need to go to the next step. You just need to go from A to B to C. You can, in order to get through the ABCs, you got to go through all the letters. You have to learn all the letters in the alphabet. No skipping. And that's the steps to your journey. So know that going from the have tos towards your journey of excitement and passion and aliveness is possible. You can do it. I believe in you. And it's step by step by step. And it's baby steps. Sometimes it's baby steps. Sometimes it may be bigger steps. And once in a while, it may be a quantum leap. Okay. So we have Anastasia said, if you're not getting anywhere and completing the steps. Okay. So if you are not being able to complete the steps, then I have questions for you. And this is important for the clearing, and this is important for the different. I'm going to do my Psych 101 lesson, and that is your conscious mind is the part of you that makes very clear conscious decisions. Like, oh, I'm tuning into the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show or podcast. Thank you, conscious mind of yours. Or when you say, I am choosing to make this decision because this is what's going to move me towards that goal, that dream. Now, what happens though is your subconscious mind is actually very often running the show. So if you're in the have to zone, or you feel like you're stumbling on the steps, or you're not sure, or you're not clear, your subconscious mind may be what's going on. And your subconscious mind, the way that I like to define it, is that part of you from the moment you were conceived to present time that has recorded every moment that you have been alive. And so it has all these positive things, but it also has the negative beliefs, the limiting beliefs, the things, the beliefs that stop you from moving towards your dreams, your goals, your destiny, the have tos. The have tos are part of limiting beliefs. Now, there are times where you're in relationship, and there may be some times where you feel obligation or a have to. And what I support you in doing is, for yourself, really tuning in, is that have to a really want to, because you are really wanting to be present for the relationship. But that's a whole nother story. So your subconscious mind is that part of you when you're feeling the fear, when you're feeling anxiety, when you're in the blahs or the boredom or the have tos or the anger or shame or guilt. All of those feelings are coming from that subconscious mind, those old patterns and beliefs. Now, it's not that you don't feel them, but it's about moving through the feelings so that you get on the other side of it. And on the other side are the feelings of your soul, the peace, the love, the joy. So your subconscious mind, very often, when you're in automatic mode, you're in that subconscious default pattern. And so having that conscious awareness actually wakes you up and say, oh, I want to do something different. That's making a conscious decision to take your power back. And that empowers you. And then you have your superconscious mind, which is the part of you that is the higher aspects of you, your higher self, this wise, unconditionally loving part of you. And your soul, that radiant light within you of love and light. And you have the universe, and you have your guides and your angels and beings of light that are there for you for the asking. And all of those aspects are there for you to help you on your journey in life. And so when you are feeling like you're not on that path or getting somewhere, or you feel like you're not on taking the right steps, or you're stumbling, one of the things that I want you also to know is that every detour, you can learn from the journey. You can learn from the experience. Every mistake, every failure. I was just talking about this in this group that I run, and we were talking about the failures. And do you know that it takes more failures than successes to be successful? So every time you think that you failed, what I want, you can hear my voice and you can hear me say, what are you learning from this experience? How can this experience help you to move forward step by step? And so even if you feel like you're stumbling, or you feel like you're not moving forward, ask yourself, what is it I need to learn from this experience? Or what action can I take? Now, if you are feeling, I'm going to call it the frozen zone. Okay. So the frozen zone is when you feel paralyzed. You feel stuck. You feel frustrated that you are not moving forward. Maybe you feel like you're on a hamster wheel going round and round and round. What I want you to know is when you're in that place, that's when, or when you're feeling, okay, so you may be in the frozen zone. If you're feeling numb, if you're feeling fear, if you're feeling frustration or anger or shame or guilt, then there's clearing that needs to happen, even grief. Now, here's the thing. Like I said, this is not about not feeling your feelings. It's about being able to feel your feelings and move through the feelings so that you then are able to start taking actions. Now, clearing can be clearing for the day to help you be in a higher vibration, or there may be deeper clearing in order for you to manifest what you long to manifest. Okay, so no, clearing is essential and necessary in order to get you towards your goal and hit the bullseye. So, definitely part of the journey. And that clearing means clearing the limiting beliefs. It means discovering the limiting beliefs towards what's keeping you from the manifestation, and then the limiting beliefs and the emotions, and then working on clearing them. So clearing is a crucial step in the journey. And so I know Misty, and I see that you asked a question, Charles. Welcome. Good to see you here, Charles. And so hopefully, Anastasia, that helps. And let me know if you have any more questions. Misty asks, what about history repeating self and not learning from? Okay. So when you are in an experience where you keep going round and round, I was talking about this today too. What happens is you're in that subconscious pattern where you are repeating those limiting beliefs and emotions again and again. It's actually a trauma pattern. Now, a lot of you may not even realize that you have trauma patterns that keep repeating. But if you start noticing that you're having relationships or experiences where it keeps happening again and again and again, then you know that you're in that pattern and you need to heal on that deeper level in order for you to keep moving forward. And so, healing from that trauma pattern is crucial. Healing those limiting beliefs and the emotions, because that's what keeps you stuck in repeating the same thing again and again. And so, I invite you to ask yourself, when you start noticing that you're repeating a pattern, what is it that first become aware of the pattern? Become aware, oh, I'm in a pattern. I'm in a pattern. Like there are clients that I've had, like Sophie was in a relationship and she kept attracting relationships that were really toxic. And that was because when she was growing up, there was a lot of abuse in the house. And so when she grew up, she kept attracting the same type of people, men, like her parents, because there was both experiences that ended up repeating those patterns. And then finally, as we worked together, she was able to break through so that then she was able to manifest a man in her life that was the man that she really wanted in her life. And that's an example of what I mean by that pattern that keeps repeating again and again. So it's asking yourself, okay, what pattern is repeating? I mean, you can actually write it down so that you're really clear. And how is this pattern? Because you want to understand the subconscious belief that's been running the show. So, how is this pattern or these similar feelings similar to what I grew up with? Because usually it's coming from your childhood, usually. Now, in the subconscious mind, you can have ancestral patterns and past lives, but right now, most of the time, it's the childhood patterns and childhood trauma and childhood beliefs and emotions that you've picked up along the way that are still running the show. So, and what I support you in doing is asking, what do I need to learn from this experience? Ask yourself, what do I need to learn from this experience? And what one step can I take to move me forward? And this is a process. So I just laid out a process for you to help you to move forward. One, understanding the pattern, becoming conscious aware of the pattern. How is it familiar to what you grew up with? What are you learning from the pattern? And what step can you take to move you forward? So hopefully that helps. And okay, so Charles asks, how do we clear what we don't know is limiting? So if you don't know that something is limiting you in your life, in your business, in your work, if you don't know, then two things. Either you need to start looking at your life and yourself as an observer. What if you were to look as an observer? How would you look at yourself or your life differently? And it's learning to uncover those limiting beliefs and emotions. That's really important part of the process in empowered manifesting. Moving towards empowered manifesting means understanding what are the blocks to keep you from moving towards your goals, your dreams, your vision. And if you don't know, then either you need to do some soul searching or asking yourself questions. What am I experiencing? Like if there's a goal that you have and you want to move towards it and you're not sure what keeps you from it, ask yourself, what would keep me from the manifestation of this goal? What keeps this from manifesting? And maybe journal about it and start finding out what's going on in that subconscious mind of yours. Asking the questions gives you the answers. So it's learning to ask those questions. Now, if you are really not sure, you may need someone to help guide you on your way. Like, depending on where you're at, if you want to work on moving forward, you're looking at getting a coach to help you and support you. If you're feeling so trapped by the trauma of your childhood and you're feeling so stuck that you are not able to move forward at all because the trauma is so intense, where you may end up having post-traumatic stress disorder, then you need therapy and counseling. So that it depending, you may need outside help. And I am just going to tell you that I would not be where I am if I didn't have a village, if I didn't have a team of a therapist, a coach, a healer. I do a lot of inner work, and it takes a lot of inner work to move you towards your goals, your dreams, your desires. And I want you all to know how worth it is. And I want you to also realize you are worth it. You are worth taking time for yourself. You are worth looking into and understanding what are your limiting beliefs or the emotions that may be blocking you, that you are worth all of that. And so I really want to support you in taking the time to be able to do that so that you are moving towards a thriving business and life. And hopefully that was helpful. Charles, you'll let me know. And before we go to the next question and the next piece of the manifestation process, I want to share with you that I have a master class coming up. And this master class is 3 keys to charge what you're worth and thrive. So, attention women, coaches, therapists, nurses, and holistic professionals, and anyone who wants to charge. And you deserve to charge what you're worth and thrive. Join me for my free virtual masterclass, Wednesday, February 26th at 7:30 p.m. And during the masterclass, we're going to be talking about embracing your worth and how you can embrace your worth and really allowing yourself to embrace it so that you are getting that you deserve to charge what you're worth. Learning how to shift your mindset because your success starts in your mind. So learn how to shift your mindset and then learn how to charge your clients or how to charge so that you're able to have the fees that you deserve. And go to the link inspiredandempowered.com/masterclass. So inspiredandempoweredliving.com/masterclass. And Rebel has put the link in the chat. So definitely join me. I'd love to see you and have you participate. Okay, so I know we had some more questions. And let's see. Anastasia says, when do people notice the pattern? How can a person notice the pattern? Okay, so if you are in a situation and you have feelings like, oh God, I'm in this again, Why is this happening? Why do I keep creating this? And you're feeling frustrated, or you're feeling angry, or you're feeling fearful, or you're having these feelings that feel like it just keeps happening again and again. You're in a pattern. And if you are having those feelings and you're starting to think, or if you have the saying, if you're saying to yourself, why is this happening again? You're in a repeating pattern. So those are some of the ways that you can recognize that you're in a repeating pattern, so that you can do the clearing to help you shift your life, your business, your energy to move you towards your goals. So the first thing is listening to yourself, becoming aware. And if you're saying, I'll say it again, if you're feeling fear and you keep feeling fear when a certain situation arises, or you're feeling frustration, like, oh, I'm in this again, or you're feeling angry, I can't believe this is happening again. You're in a pattern. Okay. So those are some of the ways that you can be aware that you're in a pattern. And it's learning to become conscious and aware that you're in a pattern. Okay. So hopefully that helps. And Misty asks, why do patterns stay and not grow as we do? So what happens is, and this has to do with the subconscious mind, the pattern stays because you have a trauma energy. When you have a part of you, I'm going to talk about parts. When you have a part of you that had an experience where you learned certain beliefs or you took on certain emotions. For example, most human beings have the belief or something thereof, I'm not good enough. Or maybe you have a belief, I'm not worthy, or I don't deserve. Now, if you have any of those beliefs, it's coming from some kind of pattern trauma that you experienced that's still playing out in your life. And the reason why patterns don't grow as you grow is because it's becoming aware that they exist, because you can't change something you're not aware of. It's becoming aware that they exist and then taking the actions that you need to take to clear the energy. And the next step is making that deeper connection. Now, making the deeper connection is a really crucial part to moving towards your empowered manifestation. And when you connect more deeply to, and part of the connection is becoming more consciously aware of the patterns, so that's part of it too. And then the other part of the connection is making the connection to your superconscious mind that I talked about, which is that higher self, the wise, unconditionally loving part of you, your soul, your angels, your guides, beings of light. All of that is all part of helping you to manifest what you want. But they can't help you unless you ask and unless you clear the energy that keeps you in the pattern where you feel stuck. So your work is really important. And we will continue to talk about this next show. And I want you to know that's why it's so important. In order to manifest, You need to do the clearing. And that's an important piece. And next show, we're going to talk more about the connection, and then the next steps to get you to the manifestation. And know that you can do this. You can do this. So join me in 2 weeks, because next show I'll be away. So 2 weeks from today, join me for another live show on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, my YouTube channel, and the podcast on iHeart, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, Amazon, and many more. So, and I want to say thank you for being here. I really appreciate all of you for being here and asking your questions. And I appreciate all of you tuning in, whether it's live or at another time. And I look forward to supporting you for more inspired and empowered living. And I wish you all an inspired and empowered day, night, and week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye for now.